Welcome to Understanding Redstone. Today we're going to look at the auto dropper circuit. Firstly, we must know what one auto dropper does. So, first of all, we know what a dropper does. A dropper, when it's powered, it will basically throw an item out like this wherever it's facing, and you can tell by its little mouth right here. Now this works with dispensers as well, but normally we use droppers. So when I put in a lot of, cyan wool, what it will do is it will just dispense it or drop it out at a constant rate, and it will only do that when there's things in here. So how do we accomplish this? Well, first off, we have to take a reading. So that's what this comparator is for. When there's things in here, this will turn on. And when it does, it will power this block, hard power it, which power this redstone, which will soft power this block. And the repeater will take that, and then it will increase the signal strength to 15, which will automatically shut this off and power this once. And now, once this shut off, this will turn off, and then this will turn off, and then it will be basically unlocked, and then it can measure what's in here again. And it just keeps doing that until there's nothing in here, because then this just stays off, and then the loop quits. Now we'll look at a few designs of the auto dropper. So first we have this one that we've already seen. So I'll put some red wool in it to show how fast it is again. And I've already explained that one. But here are a few other designs. So this is a lot like that one in the fact that you have a comparator that basically powers itself and also powers a dropper. And when it powers itself like this, it will turn it off as long as this is higher than what this is. So that means if you fill this up immediately, like all the slots are full, this will not actually function unless this is a repeater. Now what you can do with this design is you can make it longer between each time it fires. So like here, this is taking forever. Now it depends on the contraption you're using, but this can be very useful too. Now we have a very fast version, and this involves a piston with two observers, making an observer clock. So when we put this in, because of quasi activity, this will actually extend, and this is actually powering this. As I can tell, this is going really fast. And now for you Bedrock players, or Java players if you want to do this too, you can also do this. You can just have this extend to here, and then all this does not require any quasi-connectivity. And that's why this can work on Bedrock as well. So here are a few examples of auto dropper circuits that you can use. Alright, so let's look at a few uses of the auto dropper. So first of all, we can make a trash can out of it, which you might be like, what? And actually, trash cans are very useful in Minecraft. So let's say you've been outside doing a lot of stuff, and you have all these junk items, and it's just like, I don't want any of this. I don't want to put it in my chest because they are used for storage of things that I will use. These, not so much. Like rotten flesh, what I want to use that for. So you're just like, alright, I'm just going to throw it away. So you can either have a more interactive thing where you can like throw things in the cauldron, some of it might miss, or you can just simply put it in a barrel. Now what this does is, if I go down here, is basically it funnels all of those items into a dropper, an auto dropper, and then just drops them into lava. Easiest way to get rid of that stuff. And the reason we use an auto dropper and not just a clock, or a dropper that every time something goes in, it turns on, is because, one, if a lot of things get into here, it'll clog. And two, with the clock, that's on all the time. So you're going to constantly be hearing this clicking sound. So, I mean, hearing it right now, not too bad. Hearing it all the time, yeah, that's going to get kind of annoying. Now, a few more things you can use for the auto dropper is item sorters. If you have an item sorter, you can put all the stuff in your chest and then send it through an auto dropper, which can send it into the hopper line or water line that goes into your item sorter. We'll talk about item sorters in a further episode of Understanding Redstone. So, those are a few things you can do with the auto dropper. Now, let's build one. So first, we're going to build the first one I've shown, which is, in my opinion, one of the best. So first, you put a dropper facing the direction you want, then a comparator behind it running into a block. Now, after this block, you'll place a piece of redstone dust, another block, could be wool, whatever you want, a repeater coming out from that block, and then another redstone dust. And now this is very crucial. Use a target block. Now, the reason we use a target block is because we redirect the redstone into it, powering this dropper. Now, if you don't have a target block, just use another piece of wool and put a redstone dust on top of here. But the target block just makes it just a little bit more compact. And now it will work fine. Next up, we have this design. Now this design is much simpler. All you do, put dropper, comparator, run it into a wool block, or any block of your choice, repeater, another block, and then dust like this in this L shape, so dust running into this, and then a repeater running into the dropper. Now you could have a repeater here, but it really depends on your preference. The repeater here just keeps it from clogging up when you have all the slots full. Next, you need a dropper, comparator, and then you put a piston right here. Because of causing activity, this actual power will be powered. So, put an observer right here and one here. Because now we can create an observer clock by putting an item in here. Finally, if you can't do that because maybe you're in Bedrock or just you don't want to, if you're in Java, all you have to do is put a comparator, block, redstone, block, piston on top, and then you need a observer with its face side facing this dropper, and then you need an observer right here in front of the dropper, or actually behind the dropper, to create this observer clock. And then you just put some in it and it works. There you go. So that is how you can build all these designs. Now if you have more designs, feel free to use them. It just really depends on what will fit in your contraption. I hope you learned a lot about auto droppers in this episode. I hope that now that you've learned about auto droppers, you'll use them in your circuits and you can make your life easier with like a trash can or something in your survival world. So, if you enjoyed this episode, I have a Redstone University that breaks down just the fundamentals of Redstone itself and all the components of Redstone. So go check that out. Thanks for watching and catch you in the next episode.